Hey Caffeine, it's finally here! My favorite anime Jujutsu Kaisen and my favorite game Honor of Kings are collaborations for 3 new skins. First up, we've got our main character Yuji Itadori as Biron, his super cool teacher Satoru Gojo as Ming, and finally, Gloweast representing Garo. Wait, who's Gloweast again? Does anyone else know this character? Is it this character? If anyone knows, please leave a comment and let me know.
Okay.
Love these anime characters but don't know how to play these heroes? You're in luck. In today's video, I'm going to quickly show you how to use these 3 heroes, their skills, combos guide, and some pro tips. That way, if you buy these skins, they won't go to waste. Enough chit chat, let's dive right in. Starting with our main guy, Yuji Itadori, Biron. Biron is a fighter hero who fights with a big hammer. But in the anime, Yuji uses his fist to fight. I thought they'd give this skin to Dharma, but surprise, it's Biron. Well, let's take a quick look at his skills. First, we need to understand Biron's passive skills. He's like a different hero with or without his passive. He has 3 energy bar, but really, just focus on filling up the first bar, which is 30%. Biron's basic attacks and skills build up his energy bar, but after reaching 30%, his first skill and ultimate won't increase it anymore. His second skill can still add energy if it hits a target, and basic attacks will too. Once the energy bar is over 30%, his skills deal more damage, and his basic attacks have a healing effect. I know you were wondering when the energy will get deducted. If Biron's energy is above 30%, once you use any skill will drain 1 energy bar. Now let's get into his first skill. Once output, it will 2-hit forward mace out, dealing damage and healing. At 30% energy, it heals more damage and healing, but deduce an energy bar. His second skill is to dash forward, which can cross the wall as well, and enhance his next basic attack to slow enemies. With 30% energy, this attack also knocks enemies up, deducting 1 energy bar. Finally, he ultimately will deal damages to the nearest target and slow them while creating a shield. Now understand his all skills, let's talk Biron combos. The basic combo is ready your passive first before the team fight, then use your second skill to close in, hit them with a basic attack to knock them up, use your first skill to heal, and finish with your ultimate. This will be the most common combo skill. If you have Flash, try using your second skill combined with Flash, followed by a basic attack, knock up, then first skill, and last ultimate. Most of the Glass Cannon heroes will die instantly for your combo skills. Here are some quick tips for playing Biron. Feel like building energy too slowly with just basic attacks and skills? You can hit multiple targets, like nearby monsters or minions, to charge energy faster before the team fight. Besides that, if your first skill is a bit out of range, you will only hit 1 time damage and healing in order to hit twice. You can try to angle it to land both hits for more damage and healing. The last tip for Biron, double knockup, charge your second skill passive first. Once the time is almost over, use a basic attack for the first knockup, then the cooldown will be ended, and use it again for a second knockup. Got it? Next is Yuji Teacher, which is Ming, a mage hero, but some players even use him as a jungle. Let's understand about his skills. First skill, Ming will shoot 3 balls forward that spread out, dealing damage. It will be dealing more damage up close, but less from afar, kind of like Liu Bei attack. Each hit on an enemy adds a passive mark, so hitting with 3 balls at close range adds 3 marks, 2 balls add 2 marks, and so on. Once you stack 5 marks, his passive activates, and 5 little balls start orbiting around him, ready to randomly attack those enemies who are in range. His second skill is a dash, which can have 3 charges, dealing damage and adding 2 marks if it hits an enemy. His ultimate is a charged up single shot bomb, dealing heavy damage to one enemy. If this ultimate is a killing blow, it refunds 80% cooldown and refreshes his passive immediately, like a common skill, Execute. That's all for Kong Ming skills. Kong Ming's combos are simple. Use his second skill to close to the target, follow with his first skill, use the second skill again, and finish with his ultimate. Most glass cannon heroes won't survive. Of course, during team fights, we need to keep using our first skill to consume those enemies' health first, then dash back with the second skill to keep our distance to avoid being stunned or controlled. Kong Ming is a squishy hero, easy to get caught, and you're done. Therefore, here are some quick tips for caffeine. We can buy a Splendor item to increase our self-protect. Besides that, some players may be confused. Sometimes using the second skill only adds one passive mark. That's because the target is too far. Stay closer a bit to output. Furthermore, for the first skill, if the distance is too far, it only adds one mark right, so try angling it a bit and get 2 marks. Get it? Finally, we have Garo. Garo is a marksman hero. If during the pick heroes stage, enemies have a lot of tanks, we can pick Garo. I believe not many players know this. Garo is the only marksman her passive gives an extra 50% damage against defense shields targets, which is why tanks fear Garo. Here is a quick Garo skills guide. Her first skill increases her attack range and slows enemies' movement, but also slows herself down and consumes mana. Once you close it, it will revert to normal range and movement speed. And again, I believe very rare players know her basic attack can restore her mana. So in the early game, use the first skill to poke and push enemies back. Don't waste it. Her second skill shoots an arrow that deals damage, slows movement, and briefly silences an enemy, preventing them from using skills for 0.5 seconds. The skill then deals an explosion as a second burst. Her ultimate creates an 8-second circle around her, dealing damage to anyone inside. You can click it again to close it, which can deal a second damage and self-gain some movement speed. During inside the circle, Garo gains attack speed and critical rate. Once you run out of your circle, it will back to normal. And if you close your ultimate, your allies who are in the circle, they will get a critical rate and movement speed boost. That's all for Garo skills. Let's talk about some Garo tips. Garo don't have any combo skills. When you join a fight, just activate her first skill and ultimate to go all out, saving the second skill for silencing key enemies. Garo is a late game hero, so play safe in the early stage, farm well, and rush core items like Sun Chaser. This gives her incredible range to safely poke enemies from afar. So that's the lowdown on these 3 heroes. Practice with them so those new skins don't go to waste. What do you think of this skin collab? I'm super hyped, especially for Kong Ming's skin. Seriously, very, very cool. And also, you can imagine if Rika collaborates with Ganyanmo, this hero, it will super cool as well. Just swapping the gender will do, ha ha ha. And Shangyu can represent Kento, Joyu represent Jogo. Huh? Okay, I dreaming again. Back to here. That's all for today's video. I'm YT-WhiteCoffee. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.